Warren Buffett pays $340 a year to take a public speaking course at a local community center. He has been doing it for decades. He does not need the certificate. He already knows how to speak. He already knows how to teach. So why is one of the wealthiest humans alive sitting in a room full of beginners, paying for something he mastered before most of us were born? That question bothered me for a long time. Because the answer is not what you think. And once you understand it, you will never look at money, skill, or time the same way again. Here's what nobody told you. The system you were handed tells you to learn a skill once, get certified, and then go sell that skill until you retire. That is the employee model. That is the model designed to keep you producing value for someone else. The millionaire model works completely differently. And the difference is not about talent. It is not about luck. It is about one specific habit that wealthy people repeat obsessively and almost nobody talks about. Let me give you the real story first. Dale Carnegie started teaching his public speaking course in 1912. Buffett was terrified of public speaking as a young man. He enrolled in Carnegie's course, then dropped out before it started because he was scared. He eventually took it for $100. He said later that completing that course changed his life more than his college degree. That is a famous part of the story. Here is the part nobody mentions. He keeps re-enrolling, not because he forgot the material. He re-enrolls because of what happens when you teach something you already know. You catch your own blind spots. You see where your thinking has gotten lazy. You are forced to explain your ideas simply enough for a beginner to understand them. And if you cannot do that, it means your own understanding has gaps you never noticed. The room of beginners is not his classroom. It is his mirror. This is called the protégé effect. It was documented by researchers at Vanderbilt University. When you teach a concept, your brain processes it at a fundamentally deeper level than when you simply study it. Retention goes up. Pattern recognition improves. Your ability to apply the concept under pressure gets stronger. Professional athletes know this. The best quarterbacks in the NFL run the same basic drills they ran at age 14. Not because they forgot how to catch. Because repetition at a foundational level keeps the neural pathways sharp and exposes new weaknesses every single time. If this is surprising to you, subscribe right now. Because we cover the financial behaviors and mental frameworks that the mainstream money media does not touch. Now here is the second layer. And this one is more uncomfortable. When Buffett sits in that class, he is not just sharpening his skills. He is doing something strategic with his identity. Think about this carefully. Most people stop identifying as a learner the moment they feel competent. They get good at something, they put the book down, and they shift into expert mode. Expert mode feels good. It feels safe. But it is also a trap. Because the moment you stop learning something, your edge in that thing starts quietly eroding. The market shifts. New approaches emerge. And you are still teaching your brain the version of the skill you learned in 2004. Wealthy people who sustain wealth across decades are obsessive about staying in student mode. Not as a performance, as a survival strategy. Mark Cuban has said publicly that he reads for 3 hours every morning. Not industry reports. Everything. Fiction. History. Science. He is not looking for tips. He is keeping his mind in a posture of active intake. Ray Dalio built a company around the idea that everyone in the room, including him, should be challenged and questioned constantly. He calls it radical transparency. What he is really doing is engineering an environment where he is forced to stay in learning mode no matter how successful he gets. The pattern is identical across almost every self-made millionaire who keeps their wealth. They pay to be taught things they already know. They sit in rooms where they are not the expert. They create friction in their own thinking on purpose. Now here is what this means for you. You are probably sitting on skills right now that you have declared finished. You got good enough and moved on. And those skills are slowly going stale. But there is something even more important happening. If you are not regularly putting yourself in a beginner environment, your confidence is detaching from your actual competence. You think you are sharp because you were sharp 2 years ago. That gap between perceived skill and real skill is one of the most expensive blind spots in personal finance. People make investment decisions, career bets, and business moves based on a version of themselves that quietly became outdated. Here is the practical action. Pick one skill that is central to how you earn money. Take a beginner class in it. Not an advanced master class. A beginner class. Something that feels almost insulting to your current level. Sit in it. Teach it. Notice what you cannot explain simply. Every gap in your explanation is a gap in your earning potential. And it is a gap that was invisible to you until you walked back into that beginner room. $340 is not what Buffett spends on a class. It is what he spends on a diagnostic tool. It is what he pays to audit his own mind before the market audits it for him. That is the trade. And it is one of the cheapest trades a wealthy person makes all year. Stay with me, because in the next video we are going to talk about why the wealthiest people in the world deliberately keep one area of their life financially uncomfortable on purpose. Not as discipline, as a wealth-building mechanism that almost nobody understands. If you leave now, you are going to miss the one habit that separates people who hit $1 million and stop from people who never stop growing. Subscribe and keep watching.